In this video, I'll show using the chipper and also some maintenance and sharpening of the blades on the chipper. These chips are then spread back out onto the trails in our property. Here I'm putting the broken up longer sticks into the hopper on the top. It produces much more wood chips than setting them into the side chute. This pile of wood sticks and pine cones is much smaller. I have already broken them up into smaller sections as I was going around the trail picking them up. It makes it a lot easier to go through the very small opening in the top. Here I'm taking the longer branches and putting them into the side chute. This is a time-lapse video showing chipping up the sticks and pine cones that I've collected over several days of working on the woods trails. Here I brought the wood chipper into my shed so I can sharpen the chipper blades. The chain is attached to the hopper to hold that while I unbolt it. This is not intended to be a how-to video for sharpening the blades. You can find much better videos on this. Here I'm trying to use some of the tools that I have in my house. One of the things that I don't have is a 3/8 drive ratchet, which is at my son's house. So I'm trying to do this with a 1/4" drive ratchet and some various wrenches that aren't the exact size I need. I am having trouble loosening up the bolts on the chipper blades. After a while, I figured it was better if I could move it up onto the workbench. I moved the chain to a different location on one of the rafters, got an extra length of strap, and then had my wife help me lift it up onto the bench. Here, I picked up my half-inch drive ratchet from my son's house, which made it a lot easier on the bolt, but it still would not come free. I am having a hard time getting the bolts off the blades to sharpen. After trying WD-40, different wrenches, impact, I decided that it's probably better if I just try to sharpen them on the chipper. Since I didn't have my angle grinder with me, I tried to use my Dremel tool. In the beginning, I was using a polishing wheel, and that wasn't good enough. So I ended up putting a small cutting wheel on, and then I could make a little more progress with the sharpening. Obviously, I did not have my camera placed very well, but you can see in the video a lot of sparks, so I was making some headway with the cutoff wheel on the Dremel tool. Here I finally got smart and moved the camera a little closer. I tried to move my camera closer while on time lapse to get a view of the blade. I should have taken a close-up picture with my phone and inserted here. Here I am reassembling as much as I can before I lift it back onto the floor. Hooking the safety strap back up and getting it back on the floor. Finishing the reassembly while it's on the floor. Next, we'll go outside and load up some of the wood chips and spread them on the trail. While doing this, I like to have a fire going, so I'll show you how I start the fire. I found what works best for me is to take a shop towel, roll it up, and then take some diesel fuel and soak it, and then light it. This wood is really wet, so I spend extra time breaking up little sticks and adding them to the fire to get it good and hot so it'll. The wood I'm adding here is actually too big for the chipper or too crooked. I'm using a chainsaw to skim off the roots that are above the ground. Obviously, I would not recommend anybody using their chainsaw for this. If you touch the ground at all, you're going to dull the blade. So it's a very precise process. It seems to work with the slower speed electric saw and the chipping blade. Most of these are too crooked to go through the chipper, so I end up burning. Next, we'll spread some wood chips. So I'm going to get the wagon by the side of the chip, bring that around to the wood chip pile. Bringing the mower around to hook up to the wagon. Notice the front hood is missing. That'll be a separate project. This is the trail on the east side of the pond. The pond would be on your right here. bringing a detacher around to drag the trails. Since I don't have a drag, this is my second best method. Here I'm pulling a dethatcher around. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard without a 3-point hitch because you can't back up very well. Here I stopped to pick up a big rock and put on the dethatcher to weight it down and try to get a little more cutting action. I am removing the excess pine straw accumulated by the dethatcher. The green box you see is the motion detection feature of my security camera, showing me what trips the motion detection. Picking up rocks loosened up by the dragging. Some time-lapse video of the dethatcher dragging process. Putting the dethatcher away. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.